It's your boy Yule.
I'm Margaret. Happy New Year.
What's the name of our show?
New Year.
This
is Can We Talk About It?
New Year, same antics apparently.
Well, some people seem to be taking the whole New Year, New You kind of seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying out some new hairstyles in the hip hop community this week.
Unfortunately.
You caught those?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a couple of different ones. My favorite being Usher.
Usher, yeah. I feel like this is the thing with Ushers. Like, back in the day, like, if he were, like, in the Temptations, we'd all be admiring that look. You know what I'm saying?
That look was kind of fire. The jacket was go with it.
So, I'm not gonna hate it if he comes out with, like, an old, like, Motown-style album to go with it. Then I'm gonna respect it, thematically. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I feel like it was an interesting look. He looks like a black Johnny Bravo. But like, I don't know why it happened.
Yeah, I mean, it must be something going on in Atlanta because Young Jock had that look first, and now he got that little blue flip over. That was his new look.
I think he felt like Usher was coming for him, so he was like, you know what? Let's elevate this. Let's take it to the next level. Get my blue weave going.
Yeah,
and
he looks like a mid-2000s emo kid, a little bit, you know.
Yeah, he looks like half of my aunties.
Right. But did your aunties go blue?
I mean, at some point in their lives, I'm sure. But
going through a little wild phase.
Yeah, he looks like an adolescent white girl. I don't know, like the color choice was interesting also.
Yeah, very bright. Like, you know, I you know what? Let the man express himself.
I'm not gonna personally do it anytime soon. But,
I ain't worried about him.
I mean, hey, he was working it. He was looking his best. But you know whose hairstyle was trash though?
Who?
Nick Cannon.
Facts.
Nick Cannon had like a Jerry Curl-esque weave
with like a really pushed back hairline. As our very own Christine of Off the Pages said, he looked like a car salesman. He did look like a car salesman. It was so, like, spot on. Like, I hadn't seen it, and she said that, and then I saw the picture, and I was like, oh, facts.
Slaps the roof of Wildin' Out.
Yeah.
You can fit about 50 comedians in here. It's not a good look for him.
No.
Out of the three that we just mentioned, he's definitely at the bottom of the chain.
I don't know, no. I think Young Jock might be.
You think Young Jock's the worst one?
Yeah, I do. I mean, like, I said all that shit in defense of him, but I think it was because I felt an overwhelming amount of pity for him. That he was walking around like that.
I'm gonna go Usher, Young Jock, Nick Cannon. That's like my order.
I mean, I could get behind it. I could, like, Nick Cannon's is almost like, it's like, I could see how it could be ranked worse because it's almost like trying to be naturalistic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not trying to make a statement, I'm just doing this with my hair, yet and still.
It looked like somebody just fucked it up and he had to go with it. Like he was already there, like they fucked it up. Like, you can't just change your hairstyle for whatever show or presentation he was doing, and you know, just Sometimes you got a bad hair day, yo. Have some best.
What about having like a bad beard day?
Oh my god.
What about Genuine's weird beard?
You got a weird beard. Genuine looked like a GTA character. I don't know what the fuck is going on with his beard, but it looks so copy and pasted.
It's like, you know how it kind of looks like Joe Budden's beard? It's like, I never thought that Joe Budden had a weird beard, but it's like, Genuine's beard looks so bad that it's making me have a negative opinion now of Joe Budden. It's like, it's so bad that it's like
beard
spreading.
Is so bad
it's like, I'm like, oh
that
God.
I hate other people.
Yeah.
He looks
exactly.
It looked like the baby version of a Rick Ross beard. Like, I don't know what is going. Like, it just doesn't even fit his face. Nor his head.
I was gonna say the worst part of the beard is it doesn't look very genuine.
I hate you, but also accurate.
It looks fake. Like, do you think that he actually grew that, or do you think that's like hair implants on the face or something?
I think his barber is too good, and it looks 3-dimensional. Like, its beard is wildly it's too perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta throw some character in there.
You gotta find the volume of that sucker. Just a little trigonometry on that bitch now.
Also, the hat leading to the side in T.I. fashion does not help.
No.
With that whole aesthetic of whatever he had going on.
Yeah, my whole life has changed indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, those are.
Yeah, I think
workouts.
another thing that a lot of people are trying this year, not in the celebrity world, but because it's like everybody's like revamping their life, January, whatever, online dating. A lot of people I know have like now, like just at the beginning of the month, created online dating accounts. I have a lot of my friends and things like this year I'm getting serious about dating. Like, yeah, this is,
that kind
I
of
don't
thing.
know. I mean, I guess if you're looking
New year,
like,
new me, and new partner,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they cut off so many people with like they said, "Oh, New Year,
He's
you
gonna
step
start
into
fresh,
2019."
yeah. But you got to be careful out there. As a man from Arizona learned, he went on one date with a woman that he met on an online dating site. Kind of like, it was weird because they said it wasn't a sugar baby website, but it was like men who made a certain income and women who were seeking them out. So I guess it's just like if you like to date rich people, but not.
So basically, not a sugar baby website by title, but essentially
that, like a less direct seeking arrangement. But he went on one date with this woman. It didn't work out, and it was. They didn't talk about any of the details of the first date, but it must have went really bad because he said he never wanted to see her again. Which I feel like is when you have a first date and you're like, oh, I didn't really feel like we clicked. It's implied you never want to see the person again. But to actually, he said he literally texted her saying, I never want to see you again. So I'm like, what the fuck happened? But whatever.
But it became quite obvious that this man is sane and he probably had his reasons. Yeah. Because of
things escalated. This happened back in 2017, right? And then recently, they just set a court date for February on stalking charges because she had shown up at his house a few times. But aside from that, she had sent him upwards of it was a crazy amount of text messages. I don't even remember the amount.
15,000.
Yes, it was some really crazy number, and it wasn't even about the number. It was the content. So if you will allow me to read a short sampling, okay. July 2017, after she was escorted off of his property, this is when she began to threaten him via text message. I suppose prior to that, they had been affectionate, but then she changed her tune. I'd wear your fascia and the top of your skull and your hands and feet. I was impressed because I was like, what the fuck is a fascia? I wouldn't even know how to threaten somebody using that term. And the article probably assumes a lot of people don't know what a fascia is because it says referring to the connective tissue that encloses muscles and organs. So the more you know, right? Who says that dating can't teach you something new? Fascia.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I've been on some bad dates.
No one ever said I'd make sushi out of your kidneys and chopsticks out of your hand bones to you? That never happened to you?
Not recently or ever, but that's horrifying.
It's horrifying.
The I never want to see you again, it makes so much sense.
It does, yeah. He clearly saw a vision of the future.
That's the type of day she's just like, so marriage, and like the first 2-3 words, like you just sat down to dinner.
Probably beyond that, probably not even marriage. Probably like, hey, you want to have a threesome with a dead body? I think it would be what I'm saying. You gotta go a little above the normal level of easy. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of dating websites, and I don't know if it's I feel like I'm kind of lax in general about my love life. If I meet people out, cool. If I go without, compassion or human touch for a few months, all right, that's also fine. I just roll with it. But the only to you, I feel like when you use a dating website, it's because you are looking to talk to people. The other thing is, men are everywhere and y'all are mad chatty, and it's annoying. So the idea of going out of my way to talk to more men sounds crazy to me. But I've used Tinder 2 times in my life. Both times when I was out of New York because I was in situations where I was I am trying to meet people, not even necessarily for just to meet people. One time, I'll tell you. One time was when I moved to Argentina and I was having trouble meeting local people because I didn't speak Spanish when I first arrived.
Got you.
But I started dating a guy shortly after I arrived, and then I was just dating him. So I never really talked to anyone on Tinder. I just had it downloaded. Then I used it again when I went to visit my cousin in Cincinnati. and she lives on like in a part of Cincinnati that's like really on the border of Kentucky, so it's really Kentucky. And
you use Tinder in the worst places.
This is what I'm telling you. So this is what happened, right? So she went to school in California. So we're both down there at the same time, but all of our other cousins were out of state. Some of them were still at school. Some of them were on vacation. And so we didn't know like where to go out. We didn't know like where the happening spots were. So I had this bright idea. I was like, oh, well, let's make Tinders and see if like we can like they have this thing called like, it's like a group Tinder thing where you can like go on a group date. So I was like, oh, okay, let's go out with like a group of people, right? Because it's mixed, guys and girls, whatever. Bro, if you could like imagine stereotypically what dating would be like in Kentucky, like I kept coming across profiles where it was like, I like hunting duck, and like that like full cameo and like face paint. One guy's like Tinder picture was like of an explosion in the Middle East that I suppose he had
created,
facilitated. Yeah,
up through that whole shit.
Yeah, and it's just like yeah, just like a lot of, and it was around like the election, the 2016 election. I saw a lot of like Trump things, and this was like still during the primary, so it was like there were other Republican options, even if you were a Republican, and we were in Ohio, so you think they would go for Kasich. So I was like, but these people chose Trump when they had an array of other ignorant choices to make.
You matched with a KKK.
No, I didn't match with anyone. That's the problem. I just kept swiping through like, okay, eventually, gotta find someone else. Did not.
How many black people did you see on it?
0.
Okay.
Which is also weird because my family is from a black area. But I guess they weren't on Tinder.
They also don't want to date anyone in that area. That makes perfect
I guess
sense
it's just a bad, So those are the only 2 times that I've ever used online dating site. And honestly, based off of that, I would just never do it. But what about you?
I used it a couple times.
Okay.
Tinder, my first Tinder date ever was trash. Oh
was
my god, it was trash. Basically, I like borderline catfish because this girl like I had to like look back at her pictures later. Like, is this you?
Was it the same person?
It was the same person.
Just like years apart.
Sometimes you just catch that right angle. You be like, oh yeah. Nah, it wasn't happening. We literally left that date. It was like, all right, cool. Handshake, and never texted or talked to at that.
Handshake.
Like, it might have been a dap. I don't know. All right, bro. Like I might have hit him with one of those. Like I don't remember because I never looked back. I just went. I dipped.
But she didn't want to eat your fascia later?
Thank God. She looked kind of strong. I don't know. She might have.
She didn't want to use your knuckles to like make a face mask?
If she wanted to, she probably just could have, like, I don't know. It would have been an SOS text headed to Zach immediately.
So something to consider as you're moving into the, new year and you're trying out new things. Be wary with the online dating.
Oh, yeah.
That shit can go left.
Definitely.
I pointed right as I said left. Doesn't matter.
Swipe left.
Yeah.
Just keep swiping left.
A lot of things just not working these days, including our government at the
moment. My God. So, are we getting a refund or what?
It's up in the air. I think that right now we're tied for the 3rd longest government shutdown in history. And, a lot of people are being affected. Federal workers are going without pay. A lot of TSA workers are apparently calling out. That makes me feel anxious about traveling. I feel like they would just be letting shit go. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I really don't care about this job. Oh, this bag went off. Do I want to take everything out for no pay and then rearrange it? Not really. So
agreed. Like literally the only reason 95% of Americans go to work is to get a paycheck. Like
exactly.
No one loves their job that much, and especially a TSA agent.
I know. I'm passionate about luggage.
I love
control.
Checking luggage so much. I'm gonna do it for no pay. Like no, that's not a thing.
And people are saying that okay, they do get the money back when the shutdown ends, but for some people who live paycheck to paycheck, that's no. But think about it: if you have a mortgage payment due, you can't be like, oh, okay, I got you in a week or so. Like I got you in an indefinite amount of time. Do you know what I'm saying?
It sucks.
Yeah, and actually, after this month, if the shutdown extends beyond January, which it may, as Trump has said that it could go on for months or even a year. Then people are gonna lose their food stamps because
I feel like that's the end goal for him.
It was because I saw an article that was like, is President Trump willing to extend his
tantrum,
his tantrum, if you will, and allow thousands of Americans to go on. And I was like, yeah,
yes,
I think so.
yes, he would.
I think
like,
he would. Yeah, I think
he give a shit.
That. It's really shitty because it's like, honestly, it's all on him. Like, the Democrats are trying to push a bill through. And it's not really a bad look for them to extend this because they're representing their constituents. Their constituents don't want a wall. So for them to agree to that would be a bad look politically. So they're not going to be the ones to make that agreement because it would be political suicide for them. So it's really on Trump, and he's a man-child. So, you know,
so
I don't really...
So basically, we're just going to be in a stalemate of government people just not getting paid, people losing things that they, you know, supplies and things they actually need to survive because he wants a wall. I can give you 4,000 reasons why a wall is a stupid ass idea.
It is.
And why
even
spending
if you
$5 billion
for border security, the wall is pointless.
Like,
it's just fucking stupid.
Increase border security, fine. Like, no one's like arguing that. Like, that's cool. Like, that's actually like a cool middle, a wall. Like, people can climb over a wall. The airplanes exist. Boats exist.
Everything.
Like, I can give you a million ways to get around, over, through, under, like, a wall. I'm not even trying to put anybody
on blast at all, but I've worked in the restaurant industry a long time. I've worked with a lot of people who were undocumented. You know how a lot of them got here? They flew in.
Bro, you can literally catch a flight. How hard is it to book a flight?
Not that hard.
It's not.
You save up
and then just never leave. Like, the wall isn't stopping people from doing that.
Yeah. It's just silly. It's just silly.
It's the dumbest thing.
I think that eventually they'll probably be able to get a bill through the Senate because even if for Trump, he's pandering to his base, a lot of those Republicans in Senate, it's not a good look for them. Some of them, yes, but some of them who come from like more swing states and stuff like that, this is not a good look for them to like just allow this to continue. For anybody. It's not, like, for some people who just do not give a fuck, you know?
Like Trump being the president of those people.
But yeah.
Y'all's America.
You know what's not getting shut down? The L train. The L train.
After all the talk and speculation about the L train shutting down.
Yeah.
So eventually just said, nah, fuck it. Let's just
Cuomo.
It's another weird 18 months.
Okay, so they had this plan for a really long time, and essentially Cuomo, like within a few weeks, using like outside experts, came up with an alternative plan where they could do the same repairs, but they only have to be shut down at night and on the weekends. They don't have to be shut down during like commuter hours. I'm like,
I have so
many mixed feelings. I don't know. On the one hand, at first I was like, my initial reaction was like, oh, these motherfucking hipsters always get their fucking way. But a lot of them have already relocated. Some of them to Queens, which I'm not happy about. But I also read an article that a lot of people moved out of New York State. And like, this one woman moved to Connecticut. She'd been in Williamsburg since 2012. And she was like, it felt like a punch to the gut. And I was like, good, bitch. Because that made me happy. That made me happy that you had to leave New York.
Inconveniencing gentrifiers was like, I'm so fine with this. Like,
no,
I don't care.
No, like, I'm really happy that if for anyone who moved and now found out that it was not worth their time, good for you. Because anyone who was on the lower end of the economic scale probably wouldn't have been able to afford moving anyway, right? So Agreed. It's like, and then the thing with this new plan that I kind of don't like, the fact that the train is now going to run during quote unquote commuter hours, but that assumes that everybody works a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't. And I was reading about like a woman who worked for a cleaning service and she works overnight, and she leaves at like 4 a.m. She's like, now I'm going to be taking a taxi home regardless, so it doesn't really matter. She lives in Canarsie, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's still inconveniencing a lot of people. Those people who live in lower income neighborhoods along the L line. It's now designed to accommodate the 9 to 5ers, upper echelon crowd. Yeah,
agreed. And the thing about this though is that it affected all of New York in a kind of a way,
right?
Like, not only like people that live there, and not only the businesses that are affected there, because you got to think about this too. A lot of businesses shut down in L train areas.
Yeah.
And had to move and relocate and just like find different ways. Like, people literally moved their whole lives based on this shutdown.
Right.
Real estate changed. People, like I said, moved out of the neighborhood.
Those rent prices dropped.
Exactly. And the thing about this, it's not even like they stopped or said, like, we're not going to do this anymore. I think it's still going to happen in another 18 months. They're just, like, kind of postponing it and pushing it back.
That I didn't know.
And so it's like, you got, like, another year to get it together and see if you kind of want to move out. But then now we have this thing is, like, is he going to change his mind again within that 18 months?
Yeah, it's like, well, a lot of questions are arising about, like, is this really legit? Like, can you actually do this? And why was this a plan for so long? And then this just now became a possibility. And
that means it had to be a possibility the whole time.
They were saying that it's like new technology that that people just became aware of, but somebody else was saying
the ability to shut off trains at a certain hour is just new technology. Got it.
That like there was like all this research that they could have been doing on like European methods of like European mass transit, where they had undertaken similar projects and they had like not shut down entire lines. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole ass mess, and we'll see how it turns out. I mean, it might be another 2nd Avenue line. You remember how long that took?
Oh my god!
I feel like I was in the womb when the 2nd Avenue line was conceived.
Bruh,
we were conceived at the same time.
The T train until like another 30 years or 40 years or whatever. But yeah, that's the subway in general. It's always just full of shit.
ISO boom. That's New York. Anyway, moving on to something that was apparently a big revelation for a lot of people this new year. R. Kelly is a pedophile. Who knew? Who knew? What?
Since when?
What? Robert Kelly? Not the Robert Kelly?
I believe I can fly guy?
What? Oh, wait. No, we've been on that. We've been on that. Yeah, we knew that forever.
That's not news.
Yeah.
Who is this news for?
Yeah.
Robert Kelly has been a pedophile since he was 18. Like, what the... like... Come on, son. Like, is this news to anyone? Since
literally the inception of his career, and probably before that,
Aaliyah.
Right.
The pee on you scandal. The fact that he had women that were underage housed in his, his house. Yeah. The fact that he consistently dated underage women.
The fact that he was put on trial for rape.
The fact that after he was put on trial for rape, immediately went and dated another 16-year-old. Like,
yeah,
there's been so much evidence against this man.
It's crazy.
Oh my god.
But now everybody's talking about it more, of course, because we're in the Me Too era, and also because Surviving R. Kelly recently came out. Mm-hmm. But I mean, even if we're gonna like say like, okay, now people are paying attention, like blah 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 because of this movement. Why weren't people talking about him prior to this documentary? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Because his victims were black girls.
I 150% agree with you. Like, nobody gives a fuck about black girls. No. And it's the saddest shit ever. But you know what? Like I said, he's gotten away with murder for so long. Like,
and I think he may continue to, honestly. I don't think they can really get him.
Yeah, because of statute of limitations and like so many other like bullshit things.
He would have to do it again, which he probably will.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
going to. Hopefully that next time he gets
hopefully that next time.
Right? I thought that was like
damn, that's so fucking dark, but also very real.
Hopefully get him next time. Like because there will be a next time because
I just want him to end up on an episode of Dateline. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Why don't you have a seat, Robert? And why were you here?
If only. Where's Chris Hansen? We need Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen, come back to us.
No, but it's crazy. A lot of people are coming out now. Like Tank and Neo both released statements today, kind of discrediting him, as did Chance the Rapper earlier. And it's like, y'all been known. We're not in the music industry. We don't know R. Kelly personally, and we've been known. I remember, honestly, that it was like when all these, I think Meryl Streep, for one, came out after the Harvey Weinstein thing and said, like, she had no idea and blah, blah, blah. And I remember
just
I was
watching.
Al
Chapo's wife.
She's a real one. I was watching with my mom, and my mother was like, how did Meryl Streep not know when I knew? And I was teaching, 5th grade in the 90s, and I knew Harvey Weinstein had been accused of rape.
Everybody plays a blind eye and wants to be like, what?
Now all of a sudden you're outraged, unless you're an auntie of a certain age. Why do old people like R. Kelly so much?
Oh my god. I don't understand this. literally it's just been an argument of like, oh, but he makes such good music. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? You know who else made great art? Hitler, my nigga. Louis, are we gonna like separate the man from the art there too? Like, what are we doing? Like, how is this a conversation that we keep trying to separate the art from the person? The person made the art, so the person is trash.
Right.
The art is trash. Just throw everything away.
And I actually saw like a really good point that someone made. How like after Frank Ocean came out, a lot of men were like, "Oh yeah, I can't listen to his songs the same way because like it's about men, blah 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 blah." And now I think of like men, and I'm like, okay, but y'all can relate to a song that a man clearly wrote about a fucking child. Like what?
Whose mans are y'all?
Dead ass.
Whose mans are y'all? If you're still listening to Robert Kelly, whose mans are you?
Right.
Because we don't fuck with you.
No.
I'm just saying.
Remix to Ignition your way up out of here. Step in the name of love up out of here.
Yeah, but yeah, Robert Kelly's trash.
No, facts. Yeah, I haven't watched the series yet.
Yeah.
But I watched the first part, but I didn't watch the other two because it's.
When I feel like being extra sad, I'll get to it.
Facts.
But I feel like it's not going to tell me anything I didn't really know.
Nope. It's just for all the people. I guess it's just to rub in the face of all the people who didn't want to. Oh, I didn't know. Well, now you know. Now you know because you didn't know before.
We even had a conversation about the fake outreach.
Oh yeah.
And people now investing in it.
It was funny though because people were also like talking about our generation and being like, oh, but y'all didn't care when like you were listening to AJ nothing but because I was like 3. What did you want me to do? Roll up with the squad? What are you doing? What are you doing, Robert?
Like the excuses are enough. Like we can't keep putting the responsibility on taking the responsibility away from full-grown adults and throwing it on literally anyone else.
Yeah.
I don't care if a girl is 17 years old. It's not her fault, right? You say, oh, she knows you do. You know what you was doing at 17 years old. Even if she did, a person that's 30 plus knows 10 times more than she does. Exactly. Right? And also, being at a young age, people are very easily manipulated. Mm-hmm. And we can't just take advantage of that and throw those facts away also.
Right. My question with a 17-year-old girl liking an older man is never going to be, why did she like him? My question would be, why does he like her back? Why does he like a kid?
Exactly.
Like, that's all I give a fuck about.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And then we did, like, a lot of people will bring up, like, okay, you know, he's getting heat. Like, look, Bill Cosby is already in prison. Harvey Weinstein hasn't even completed his trial. And you know what? Yeah, there is a double standard.
Oh yeah, definitely when it comes to black and white.
With black and white. Yeah. But nonetheless, it's not that I don't want black pedophiles to be punished. I also want all of them punished. You know? And honestly, I feel like
that doesn't exclude the ones that are black.
Like, if we're gonna look at the white community and look at the way that they kind of like go easy on white rapists, white pedophiles, you know, white sex offenders. Why do we want to hold ourselves to that standard as a community? Why don't we want to be better than that community and say we protect our own? You know what I'm saying?
Even that means throwing away and stepping in the name of love. Like, no, throw all that shit away. Throw all that. Like, we have to be better, right? You can't give a fuck about whatever else is going over there or trying to be worried about being demonized. We have to demonize demons at the end of the day.
There we go. Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Let that be the wave for the new year.
Let that be the wave.
Yeah. New year, new you. Call people out.
Yeah, facts. Because we ain't taking that. It's your word from Can't We Talk About
It. See you guys next week.
Deuce.